If cleaning hasn't made the inscription more legible and in-painting isn't feasible, what options do you have to improve the legibility? It's tempting to go for complete recutting to produce a pristine and new inscription, but there are good conservation reasons why this isn't always the best or most appropriate option. You need to understand when this option is appropriate and its limitations. Inscriptions can only be recut a finite number of times, so it should only be undertaken when absolutely necessary and as a last resort. So, decisions about recutting need to consider the longer-term survival of the memorial into the future, not just how it looks today. Is it possible for the letters to be recut? Is the stone sufficiently robust to allow it to be worked back to a sound surface? It may be a poor quality piece of stone that cannot be recut. Friable stone is very difficult to treat. Consolidation treatments to preserve the stone can often cause further problems and are rarely a suitable solution. The lettering may be of a design that is not possible to recut. This is often the case with letters cut in relief. Was the letter carved by a renowned artist? If so, it may not be appropriate to recut it. If sharpening or recutting are options, what are the key points when planning the work? Firstly, the original style must be reproduced, so the reinstated inscription should stay authentic to the original design and execution. The minimum amount of sharpening or recutting should be undertaken to make the inscription legible. It may not be necessary to recut the entire inscription, but certain letters can be sharpened and deepened to make the inscription more legible. This must always be done by an experienced letter cutter, and it's essential to ask for a sample of their conservation work to make sure they're competent to execute the carving to the required standard. Since original inscriptions will have been cut by hand, pneumatic and abrasive power tools such as sandblasting are inappropriate.
The surface of the stone is quite badly weathered, particularly towards the bottom. We see quite pitted, broken surface. We've begun by cleaning it with a specialist cleaning process, which is very, very gentle. It's not a case of recutting it completely. It is just a case of sharpening up what's required just to preserve it for that little bit longer. It's difficult in this instance with the type of stone it is, being so pitted and friable, to do any major surface preparation on it. The gentle cleaning process is about all you can get away with. If you touch it with carborundums and abrasives, then you very, very quickly take much more of the surface away. It would damage the lettering that's already there. We're quite fortunate in this instance. All the names on this memorial are recorded in the church on a board of remembrance. So those names which were illegible can be cross-referenced. So the next stage is to set about carving, and to do that we need to mark the letters out. I would first describe some line onto the stone using a marker pencil, white crayon in this because it's contrasting to the stone, and then to mark out as best I can the existing form of the letter. As the surface is bad, the letters are wider in parts, disappear in parts, so it's a case of looking through the existing inscription to get a flavour of the style of the alphabet that we're going to work with. Once we've decided on those shapes, it's a straightforward process of drawing them on. The next step then would be to cut in a centre line, and that is the important part really. That's what holds a letter up. It's, if you like, from a lettering point of view, an internal skeleton of a letter. As the surface wears back again in future, which it inevitably will do, that V in the bottom will stay in the bottom for someone else to pick up on in future years and then cut back into the surface wherever it ends up. The final stage, once I've cut, will be a kind of an inspection process really, which will quite simply involve brushing the dust out, seeing how it looks without the dust in, because that's how it will be seen in a day or two once it's been rained on, and then going over the letters and just sharpening up the odd little bits on the surface just to try and sharpen the letters as best we can. In the touching up process that we are doing, we have to cut into the existing surface, so we're never ever going to get a really sharp looking letter. It's more about re-establishing the V-cut so that we get a shadow cast so that it's legible. We have a responsibility when it comes to conservation to preserve the monuments for future generations. It's not about putting in our own artistic input really, it's about a continuation of what's been done before.